Hello and welcome to Transformation Now. Hi, I'm Rita Rocker, speaker, author, and trainer with SoaringHigher.rocks. And I've been working on a program from one of my books, Creating Your Own Destiny, Power Steps for Mind, Body Renewal, and going through the actual workbook, the project book, to be able to take your life from where it may be now to creating new steps for the kind of life that you want and deserve. It could be a complete total life makeover, or it could be just in one specific area. And so I was talking last time about, through chapter 1, emerging from the wilderness, it's time to rise. And so as I said then, the word emerge actually is when something is newly created. It emerges, it goes forward, growing in strength or popularity, taking shape, or coming out of a difficult and hard situation. And so again, emerging from the wilderness, and many people have been in that wilderness, especially the last 2 to 3 years. And so this is a good time, a good opportunity to move forward. And so I was talking about earning a living, making visual mind pictures, seeing yourself doing exactly what you want to do, not what you're capable of doing maybe right now, but really what you want to do and moving forward with your life and transforming it. Right now I have a couple friends who really needed to change a lot of things in their lives, and one of them now is totally moving out of town. I mean, her whole life is totally changing, and I'm so happy for her, although I'll miss her. And another friend too is seeing powerful things that she's wanted in the music industry and prayed about for many years coming to pass. And so again, it's because of working that way, focusing on that and moving forward and saying no to things in the past that maybe we allowed, we entertained, whatever the case may be. And so again, the thoughts that we entertain and the words that we speak or write have much to do with how we handle the environment we live in. And that is so true, because if we entertain negative thoughts, we pull in more of the negative activity. A lot of people will speak out what's been going on in their minds. And so, you know, sometimes people have such a low self-image. That runs in my family too, I understand that. Their self-image is so low that they give off this energy that says, I'm no good, you don't need to talk to me because I don't have anything of value to say. I've seen that over and over and over again. And so we give off that kind of energy, and when we do, people treat us the way we treat ourselves most of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time. And so we need to think about that. What kind of energy, like I talked about last time, am I giving out? Okay, so even if you don't feel like you are a very good person or whatever, you have to visualize yourself and pray about being that loving person that attracts the right kind of people, okay? The right kind of people, the positive people who will be in your life to walk with you forward. So it's very, very key. So many of the times we write, you know, text messages, everything's about text messages nowadays. But, you know, if somebody puts text messages all in capital letters, they say like screaming at someone. Okay, and so we have to be very careful in text messages. Social media has gone way off the board as far as some of the things that have happened to other people because of cruel social media. And so there again, we might just have to turn it off, now look at it and say, hey, no, this is someone's opinion. This is not who I am. This is what my life is all about. That's somebody's opinion. Okay, now shut the door on that because it doesn't matter. So think about how you handle your life on a daily basis. And once we start becoming more aware of that, and even stopping during the day, it's like, well, why did I do this? Or how could I do this differently next time? Your life will start transforming for the good. So our belief system helps us remove hindrances and prepare us for wings of flight, okay? Or it can let us stay down and be defeated. So our belief system is everything. Sometimes with me, it's just like, I believe I'm a child of God. So I'm made in His image. I'm not junk. I've had to do that myself. A few years ago when I was having some quiet time and I thought about something that I had done, and it wasn't bad, it was just kind of stupid, and I called myself a dumb 4-letter word that I can't say. Okay? And right then, I could hear the voice of God speak to my spirit and say, who are you calling that? You asked me to take up residence within you. If I am in you, how can you call yourself that? And I had tears just rolling down my cheeks, and I said, Father, I am so sorry because you are in me. How could I call myself that? And so think of it that way. If you can't think of it any other way, is like we're made in his image. We're his children. We're not junk. We're priceless. We're beautiful in his eyes. And so that was such a life changer for me to be able to stop when I was beating myself up, which I still fight with all the time, but say, no, that's not true. That is not true at all. So think about that. And, self-talk is everything. And so quite often we have to stop what we're telling ourselves and go, not anymore. That is not me. That's not how I'm made. And I'm not going to keep calling myself a dumb, whatever the name may be, or worthless or anything. One of the things I've seen the most in people that are struggling right now is a sense of being unworthy. And it's like, well, I was told I wasn't going to amount to anything, I'm this or that or whatever. I fought being unworthy since I was 5. And so what we have to do again, like I keep saying, is go, no, I am worthy. I'm made in his image. That settles it right there. And so our views or opinions of ourselves, which is our self-perception, how we perceive ourselves, how we see ourselves, can really have an immediate turnaround once we switch those thoughts. So we switch those thoughts about our home, our car, our job, whatever the case may be, and have a gratitude adjustment. Yes, we need attitude adjustments. We also need gratitude adjustments, because I have seen not only in my life, but in the lives of many people, once they had a gratitude adjustment and started thinking about all the things that they do have, their life literally started changing for the better. And they attracted good friends, good relationships, and even better jobs to them because of a gratitude adjustment. And sometimes it's just a matter of thinking, I've seen so many programs. Look what's going on in all places of the country. I was in Haiti. I saw the starvation, and it broke my heart. And, things like donkey boys, they called them, who were literally like moving trucks. And a lot of them died, 18, 19, 20 years old, because it just killed their body. I mean, they'd have a cart, they were like hauling furniture, anything on there. And so I think, no. Let's have a gratitude adjustment here and be grateful. So, I get in the shower, sometimes I say, thank you, God, that I have a hot shower and running water. Because I remember in Haiti when one young man was seen from the bus, and they had a little bit of rain, and there was a little bit of water where the curb is going into the terrible streets. And he's dipping his finger in that water at the curb, and he's trying to clean his teeth. God knows what kind of bacteria was in there. And so it's like, hey, you have it pretty good. So don't be doing that anymore. So again, we devise in our minds, we plant seeds of what is going to happen next and what we're capable of doing. You think of the word invent. Okay, invent means a complete procedure, a complex procedure, or a system. Look at all the inventions that happen in the world. Well, somebody had to start with an idea. They had to change their outlook, like Thomas Edison and others. Okay, 1,000 things have failed. That just means I'm getting closer to my goal. So yeah, we're all going to fail. But the thing is that we have to be careful. And everybody invented something by trying, failing, until it actually worked. And so in life, we have to invent new things in our lives too, a lot of times. And it's going to be trial and error, but we keep going. And so think about that through the actions of becoming successful, what you need to do. And get yourself back up when you fall down, dust your knees off, and get back in the race. I've had to do that several times. When my husband died during my term as Mrs. Nebraska, shortly after the Mrs. America pageant, I was a wreck. And I went to, 1 month after he passed, I went to speak at a women's retreat. It was a large women's retreat. And a couple ladies came up to me afterwards and they said, well, that wasn't at all what we expected to hear. And I said, well, what did you expect to hear? Oh, we thought you were going to talk about the pageant and stuff. I said, no. I said, my purpose in life is not to talk about that, but to talk about when we have been injured, when we have been hurt somehow, when we've had a devastating thing happen in our life isn't where we want it to be. You get back up when you've been knocked down, and I've been knocked down literally from physical violence in my past. I know what a rough life is. And I said, you get back up, you dust your knees off, you get back in the race. And they said, okay, thank you, we really appreciate that. And so, again, it's what do we want to do with our lives? And so there's an old saying that he who aims at nothing shall surely hit it, what? Every time. And so again, if that's all we aim at because we don't feel like, oh, I'll do this tomorrow. Okay, well, I'll start my walking program tomorrow. Tomorrow gets here. Oh, okay, well, I'll start my program. I don't feel like doing it right now. And this can go on to forever. I fight with procrastination all the time. And so just think about those things. What are we aiming at? Okay? What are you aiming at? And so if we aim at nothing, that's exactly what we'll get. And I know that firsthand for sure. And so uplifting, degrading relationships, whether it's a career I enjoy or am I just working to survive. So many times the majority of people work at something because they need to survive, all right? But again, while you're surviving, you can start working on something else, maybe a side job, doing what you love to do. A lot of people are doing that now. Maybe they just do their 8 to 5 job or whatever, but then they've started a little side job. It could be in art, it could be in just coaching in sports, just to even help people, but something that they have on the side that they're doing to build up their skills, build up their confidence, and then maybe actually be able to shift over into that kind of work later on. So if you can't do it full-time for a while, look at ways that you can get into that on a part-time basis until you can get into it full-time. And so think about that. And so you're doing something that makes you light up. Like I mentioned before, a friend of mine, her grandson, got into real estate. So before he turned legal age as a senior in high school, he was working for them and he was making phone calls. And then once he became 18, then he was able to try for his real estate license and he got it. And he's just so happy. And I said, wow, and I asked him how things are going before he got his license. He just lit up like a Christmas tree. And I said, that's exactly where you belong. Look at you, you just light up. That resonates with you, and he loves it, and he's good at it because he followed his dream of doing that. So he's going through college. He'll start his sophomore year, and so, but hey, he's going for it. So that's what we want to do. And replace the words that we think, write, and speak, again, with the right kind of words, because there's been so many scientific experiments and research, and science even has proven that we literally change our brains when we change our thoughts. And so that is brain plasticity, neuroplasticity, that we can literally change how our brains look, how they work, by thinking of the outcome of our thoughts and what they're creating. And I've seen this from brain scientists, brain doctors before. And so there's neurons, everything, brain is neurons, and the information, and they're the information messengers to the brain and to our entire bodily nervous system. And so it has been proven that our health can be hurt or our health can literally improve greatly by our thoughts. I'm getting better. No, I'm just like yuck all the time. And like the Lisa Nichols, who's internationally known, I think I shared before, and she's more of a motivational, inspirational person. She makes millions of dollars. But when she was in high school and she was, her grandma made sure she took swimming lessons and she was on a competitive team and she was 15 and she kept thinking, oh, everybody's gonna beat me, I know, I'm gonna come in last, and she always came in last. And then her grandma said, nope, that's not what you do. And so then Lisa quit, she quit the team. She said, I'm not gonna do this anymore, I'm always coming in last. And then her grandmother said, no, that's not how you achieve your goals. You say, I know I can do it. I'm going to win. And so by the time she got back on the team, the 15-year-olds were all full. So she had to go with, I think she said 16 and 17-year-olds, or it was a couple of years above her. And so she thought, oh no, now I'm really, and she, no, I'm going to do what Grandma said. And, I'm ahead, I'm winning, and so all the time she's swimming, she was telling herself the positive, not the negative. And so when she finally got to the end, when she was heading towards the end, then she kind of, out of her corner of her eye, could see a little bit that there was somebody, but she was still back there a ways. And so Lisa kept telling herself that she was going to win. And then when she got to the finish, she goes, oh my gosh, I'm so far last that everybody else already got up and got out of the pool. And she looked up at the coach, and the coach said, no, you won. You won. They're still behind you. And so she said that totally changed her life, because instead of saying what she had always said before, she said the exact opposite. And she was the winner. She beat everybody by a long ways. And it was because of what she kept telling herself while she was actually going through the competition. And so over and over, I hear those kind of testimonies. What are we telling ourselves? How are we working this out? And I love talking to her. That's why she's a multi-bazillionaire, is because she really helps people transform their lives by what they're thinking and how they're acting, what they're doing with their lives. So you can overcome fears of rejection. I've had to do that all my life, still working on it. You can overcome those fears of rejection, like you don't want to approach somebody. A lot of times in sales, for instance, people go, oh, I love these products, but I can't sell because I'm too afraid they're going to reject me. They're going to say, I'm busy, don't bother me, things like that. And when we give off that, that's what we get. I remember one time when I was at a doctor's office, and I was waiting in the waiting room, and this very well-dressed professional couple came in, and everybody was just, all the people, the office there were like, oh, they're so excited to see this couple. And I think, wow, what are they selling? Is this some newfangled medical thing? What are they doing? Because, the women were just all like, oh, yay. And it was chocolates. They had a business with chocolates, and apparently they were awesome. Here they are. They're dressed in suits. They're very professional, and everybody's loving it, and it was literally chocolates. And I thought that was a good example, because I thought, oh my gosh, you can come in here and have everybody fawning over you for chocolates. And so again, they knew they had a good product, they were proud of it, and so they weren't worried about people rejecting and saying, what are you doing in here? So think about that. Anything you have, if you have a positive attitude towards it, then you're confident. You're not afraid of being rejected, okay? Another one is with abandonment. Sometimes we're afraid that, well, we were abandoned before, so gee, if I say anything and open my mouth, the same thing's gonna happen. No, can't do that. Afraid of any kind of failure. Everybody fails. Again, Magic Johnson, he was sent home, kicked off the basketball team. Einstein said that he was kind of, I don't think the word was stupid, but something like that, and he would never amount to anything. All the testimonies that I've seen of very famous people that were just kind of brushed off and said, no, you can't do this, and they all proved them wrong. So again, it just depends on what kind of attitude we have. No, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Other people's opinions, again, so many times opinions of others have totally set a person's life in the wrong direction. That's their opinion. That's their problem. It's not yours, okay? So always think about that. Talk to yourself very kindly, and pray if you need to for people to be in your life who will also talk to you very kindly. And then again, all your feelings of education, finance, a myriad of other areas. Sit down and think of those things and what you can do. I'm working on some things right now too myself. But fear and faith both project into the future, okay? Fear and faith both project into your future. And so it's up to you to say what you get in your future. And that just sounds so easy and so trite maybe, but it is true. It is true. Are we going to have faith to walk that path, or are we going to have fear and walk the other path that's not good? So they will project what's going to happen in your future. So think about that a lot. Bring the unseen into the seeing realm, so to speak, like I've been talking about, and continuously visualizing what you want manifested. Say, 6 months from now, a year from now, whatever the case may be, to keep going forward. So what fears are holding you back? Again, I want you to sit quietly and think about what people, what life experiences, what education, money, etc. is holding you back. I was so excited for my friend that I will miss, because she's had one really rough thing after another. She stayed with me for 6 months when she was homeless. I understand that one now too. And so anyway, now God brought her a lady who works in some of the areas that she needed help, and they're moving to Missouri in a whole new life, helping people. It's just awesome. And she never thought that something that cool could happen to her with all she had been through. So again, there's all kinds of miracles out there. We just have to grab a hold and not let go of one of them. And so, again, what are you projecting in the world? And some of the thoughts that we can project would be, oh, I'm afraid that I'll lose him or her if I don't do this, if I don't do that, if I don't do all the work, if I don't cook right, whatever the case may be. But so many times we're afraid of losing him or her if we don't cater to their every whim. Well, hey, you know what? It's probably best that you do lose a person in your life so that it can be replaced with somebody who is good in your life. So I know that's hard, but a lot of times we need to have somebody replaced. And so if I lose him or her, it wasn't the right person in the first place. You deserve a lot better. Afraid that if I can't do something or can't complete something, or maybe I don't win in the pageant, in my case. Oh, I don't think I want to enter Mrs. Nebraska because if I lose, then I'm going to feel like a big loser. I mean, I felt that way, but God had different plans for me. And I'll lose, I'll feel stupid. I'm afraid that they will reject me due to less money, education. Although I'm really as smart as them, I'm afraid because I don't have the education they do that I won't be accepted, or I won't get the promotion because they have more education. But really, I know I'm smarter, I'm kinder, I communicate with people better. Think of those things in your life instead of what you're seeing maybe necessarily, or because my home isn't nearly as nice, I don't want to invite anybody over because they might think less of me if I do. So there's all kinds of things that come up on our minds, but it's like, nope. No, you're very valuable, and God has a lot of good plans for you in your future. So what do you truly want to project to the world? Again, I'd ask that you sit down with a notebook and a pen where it's really quiet. If you've got a lot of noise, go sit in the car. Right now you could still sit in the park, whatever the case may be, and think, what do I want to project to the world? What am I projecting to the world right now? And this is very powerful personally, but also professionally. What am I projecting to my boss, to my coworkers? How are they reading me? How are they seeing me? What am I projecting? Is it good or bad? Do I seem like I'm fearful? Do I seem like I'm angry all the time? How do I write my messages? How do I answer the phone? Years ago when I worked for the Labor Department, and my mentor, who was from a modeling school, she totally ripped me apart most of the time because she was trying to help me grow and learn, and that was her way of doing it. And she called me at the office, and I answered the phone, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you sound so unprofessional." And I thought, well, same to you, and then I started listening to myself. I swallowed my pride, which is the first thing I had to do. And I started listening to myself, and I thought, oh my gosh, she's right. I really do sound very unprofessional, and this is the director of the unemployment office, like, oh boy. And so I changed the way I answered the phone and the message that I was projecting to people. And I thought, you had a kind of a cruel way to tell me, but it really was important that I learned this lesson. And so a lot of times, even on the phone, I've recommended to people, and I've seen it recommended before, put a mirror in front of your phone, right there, so that you can look, and if you have a scowl on your face, you look angry, you look very unhappy or frustrated, something like that, that will transmit over the phone to the people you're talking to. And so, if you're really tired, suggested sometimes get up, stand up, walk around if you can while you're talking to someone on the phone to energize yourself, to get rid of kind of that sluggish feeling. And so again, studies have shown us not as much what we say as how we say it, because 55% of our communication skills, for instance, are nonverbal. How we sit, stand, walk, how we look, the expressions on our face. What's our body language doing? 38% is the quality of our voice, which is our expression, our pitch, and the tone of our voice, where only, research has shown many times, about 7% is the actual words that we're using. So think about that. I might be saying something right, but am I saying it in the wrong way? And so think about, again, with the energy, how do I sound when I'm speaking to someone, whether it's over the phone or whether it's in person? Because people will read your body language a lot of times more than they'll hear the words. So if the body language and the words don't connect, it's like, oh yeah, everything's just fine, but it's like, oh yeah, everything is fine, but they're looking upset, then read the body language. And so again, think about how you're projecting in all ways, in person, over the phone, in your writing, in your text messages, whatever the case may be. Because I've talked to companies where employees are getting really tacky with their text messages that should actually be emails to corporate companies. So just think about all of those things. And then last thing would be, what do you truly want to project? Think about that, and then make a list of the things that you want to project and your current situation and how you're going to change those. It could be, I want to be seen as a lovable, kind, caring person who is also maybe excellent at a particular job, a particular hobby, a particular type of thing that you're doing, but also being seen as someone who's confident, who's professional, who's a team player. So think about all those things that are being projected and what you have and what you're going to have, because you're going to keep working on it until you do. So thank you very much for today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.